Hello there, and welcome to After Dark with Dr. Mike. Tonight, we're going to be talking about demon magicians and what's going on with that. And so, to welcome you in, I'm Dr. Mike, and we have across from us here Marty Muniz, the man behind the machine that makes it all happen. How you doing, Marty?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. With all this rain and everything, though, I feel like I'm about 80 years old. Don't even comment on that. I will bite you. Okay. And then, of course, we have the weird news with the hot spots. Gwen the news lady. How you doing, Gwen?
I'm doing good, Dr. Mike. How are you?
Excellent.
Okay.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight with some really weird shit in the realm of magic. But first, you have a few news stories for us, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let's start at New Mexico. Hobbs, New Mexico, Associated Press. And remember, all of these are real. They're nonfiction. They actually happened, and I've dug very deep for these.
Well, there's a lot of news agencies that you're going to all around the world to get this absolutely bizarre shit.
Sure have. In fact, I thought it would be appropriate for the recent escapees, prison escapes.
Oh, yeah, there's been a few.
Yeah. So I thought this might be interesting for everybody. New Mexico corrections officers say an inmate escaped his jail cell by breaking a window bar with a razor blade and a popsicle stick, but had a change of heart once he got outside. Carlos Garcia told police it took about 5 months to break the bar on his cell window at the Lea County Jail with those materials. He also used plastic, newspaper, and more popsicle sticks to fashion a fake window. The Hobbs News-Sun reports that Garcia changed his mind and climbed back into his second-story cell using a bed sheet. Garcia has been moved to a maximum security ward at the state penetration. Holy cow.
Well, if you are in prison, there's plenty of that to go around. You might find yourself in a cell with a guy putting his arm around you. You my puppy now. But I don't want to wear a wedding dress. Okay.
So at the state penitentiary, he is serving time for 2 murder convictions and other crimes.
Wow.
So a jailbreak that MacGyver would love. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
It's totally bizarre.
Okay. Let's go to stinky or stanky liquid ass. What?
Stanky liquid ass.
Yes.
That's
and
when
there
you hear something
is
to the effect of, for Alpha Zulu, we got a what the fuck going on here. This much going on there.
there is a product called Liquid Ass.
Oh,
actually, you
my
can
God.
get it at liquidass.com. In fact, a father may be facing jail time after spraying his son in the face with a product called Liquid Ass.
Good
The dad
God.
says it smells like somebody hasn't taken a bath for 3 months and their butt is really, really sweaty and they haven't wiped their tush in a long time. Jason Festerman told Fox 2.
Festerman?
Festerman.
As in festering?
Like festering, oozing wounds.
Oh, God, that's disgusting. Yeah, he fit the bill all right.
Yeah. Apparently, Festerman's son, and we won't say his name because he's a minor, goes to school in Marine City, Michigan, brought the foul-smelling product and sprayed it around as a joke. When Festerman got a phone call saying his son was suspended, he told the station he came to pick the boy up. The scene that ensued, however, landed the elder Festerman in hot water, too. Police in the school are saying the father sprayed liquid ass on the campus, too, at the school. Said, it's pretty foul-smelling, the principal said. And we have expectations for appropriate behavior at the school, including adults visiting the building. Festerman told Fox 2 he's been charged with disorderly conduct and claims that he wasn't intentionally spraying it, but just checking the canister to see if anything was in it.
Well, when you hear something like that, you automatically think of anal sex. If you're going to buy liquid ass, it'd be something you use to get into the...
Get in the mood instead of splashing on cologne.
No.
You spray
You just part the butt cheeks, get a little spray, and slide it on in.
You don't have to spray. It's already there.
No. I thought when you hear the sound liquid ass, it sounds like an anal lube. Not like something you just go around spraying. Hey, anybody want to smell like 3-month-old ass?
Oh, God. Well, this is a kicker. He also says, however, that spraying liquid ass is somewhat of a family pastime for the Festermans.
Oh, Jesus.
We've gone to Kmart, we've had our kids with it, and we're spraying, he said. We've done it at Dollar General. Everyone laughed.
Yeah, because there's there's that retard New Mexico?
No, actually, they said Marine City, Michigan.
Oh, that's right. Okay, retard City, Michigan then. Everybody likes the smell of ass. Jesus Christ, come on. What else you got there? That's just disgusting.
Goat cleared of criminal charges.
Poor goat.
Sydney, Australia. Gary the flower-eating goat's graze with Australian police has ended with his comedian owner getting the last laugh in court. A Sydney judge ruled last week that neither the goat nor his owner could be found guilty of vandalism over an August incident when Gary decided to snack on a flower bed outside a city museum. Police at the time levied a fine of 440 Australian dollars or $465 approximately US dollars against owner Jim Dazernal, a comedian also known as Jimbo Bazubi. I wonder if he's a clown.
Oh my God, don't go there.
But the man and goat got their day in court with Gary arriving resplendent. Now this is Gary the goat. He was resplendent when he arrived at court in a colorful hat. The brown and white goat didn't testify, but he had his own lawyer. Owner Desernal said the case serves as a lesson to overzealous authorities, and that's don't bite off more than you can chew. Ba-dum-bum.
Huh. Wow. Okay. Goats in the news.
Goats.
Usually when you hear about goats in the news, it has something to do with sex.
Goats in the news, and they're on a lot of commercials.
Yeah.
And we broke that. We remember when they had that?
Oh, yeah.
And we had the laughing, the goats screaming like humans.
A lot of goats do that.
And then it finally hit mainstream a couple of years after that. It was a hoot. We still laugh at that, Rick. But anyway, gooey, watch it or eat it. New York, Reuters. Ben & Jerry's ice cream company has sued a movie studio for trademark infringement, forcing the studio to recall pornographic DVDs whose titles and packaging imitated Ben & Jerry's. Caballero Video made 10 DVDs in its Ben & Jerry's X-rated film series that included Boston Cream Thighs, Chocolate Fudge Babes, Peanut Butter D-Cups. Titles similar to Ben & Jerry's ice cream flavors of Boston Cream Pie. I think we can figure that out. Chocolate Fudge Brownie and Peanut Butter Cup.
Chocolate Fudge Brownie. Is that what, making mud turtles? Oh, okay. You two just froze up on the air.
Yeah, I got to hit reset on that one. The porn video packaging also used images similar to the ice cream giant's familiar puffy white clouds and grazing cows. The X-rated company slogan is Porno's Finest. Ben & Jerry's slogan is Vermont's Finest. So, yeah.
Well, if they're in trouble, they forgot to use one particular word.
What?
And this is a word that Hustler magazine back in the day decided that they needed to use. And because they used this particular word, they didn't get in any trouble at all for doing the exact same thing.
Oh,
and that word is parody.
Well, that's true.
You need to have the word parody
in the title, somewhere in the title.
Yeah,
or
right there
it.
on that main page, that main the main cover there.
Oh,
if you don't have parody, yeah, you're screwed.
Well, they were screwed. They had to recall all of that. So,
okay,
all right,
that's pretty bizarre.
I think this might kind of be a good segue.
A lead way into the show tonight.
Yes, sir, Bob. Doorways to demonic possession. Now, I dug this out of the archives, the vault.
Now, is this the one that was put out by that fundamental Christian group?
Yes, actually.
It says like scratching your balls can lead to demonic possession.
I do touch
yourself or something.
I do have a scratching ball story. If you want to hear it.
No.
It includes scabs.
Let's get on with the what it takes to.
So, are scabs the original scratch and sniff? Is that what that was?
Yeah, it smells like gangrene.
It's like almonds.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
It smells like nuts. There you go.
You know, I was going to have some Jordan almonds tonight, But I don't think I will now. Thank you, Marty. Thank you so much.
Lordy.
You
Yeah, it's called
bastard.
picking and smoking.
Oh, come on. Let's get
Okay,
on with the
okay, we'll do
demonic
that.
possession bullshit.
Alrighty, this was from the
Sounds about
Comic-Con, and it's just
Wait,
Comic-Con.
somebody
just
dropped this off at Comic-Con?
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago, though. But I thought since you were
Oh,
talking
you know,
about
they
magic,
just had Comic-Con. They probably got more of it.
they may have, but I
Oh,
think
they've got
since
to
you're,
hear what the hell they're telling people.
since you're going into demonic
Magicians?
magicians or demonic magic, you're not saying magicians are demonic.
Well, you will find out.
Okay. Doorways to demonic possession, and fundamentalists allegedly just threw all these pamphlets out and distributed them there at Comic-Con in 2012 with an evil hobbies list that
this should be good.
that may lead to demonic possession according to this list. And so it says at the top, "Beloved, do not take part in any of these components of Satan's spiritual structure. They are doorways to demonic possession. Eastern religions, yoga, Freemasonry, Illuminati groups."
Whoa. I'm a Freemason. I'm York Rite, Scottish Rite, Eastern Star, and a Master Mason 32nd degree. So, what the fuck? I have yet to see Satan. If I had, I would talk to him about my lottery tickets. What's a bunch of bullshit?
Don't kill the messenger. I'm just delivering the message.
Okay.
Illuminati groups, New Age religions, Church of Satan. Now
that
should
pretty
be,
much gives you a kind of a red flag there. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about meeting the devil. Let's go to the Church of Satan.
Satan.
Who invited you? Was it Satan? Okay, carry on.
Scientology.
Well, okay, Tom Cruise. Need I say more?
Astrology, tarot cards, Ouija boards, remote viewing, palmistry, voodoo, earth worship, Wicca, cyberpunk culture, divination, mediation, or meditation, I should say, not mediation.
I'll say mediation. There's a lot of...
Yeah,
but you know,
our court system.
Yeah, but most of them are demonic anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, vegetarianism.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Vegetarianism.
Vegetarianism.
Well, because they need some meat to make their minds right.
Oh, okay.
Lycanthropy, postmodernism,
Lycanthropy?
backmasking.
No, what, werewolves?
Yeah, werewolves, yeah.
Well, fuck, if I could be a werewolf, I wouldn't worry about anything else.
Postmodernism, backmasking.
That's backwards, like on music and stuff. Allegedly satanic messages.
Like the hamster dance played backwards.
Oh my God, I did that. I actually did the hamster dance played backwards.
Marty, you're an expert on the Beatles.
Yeah.
Remember that craze that they said one of the Beatles songs, or was it John Lennon? One of the Beatles songs, they played it backwards, had a demonic message.
Well, there's a lot of controversy over the whole, and it's not just one particular Beatles song. It was several Beatles songs.
And Ozzy Osbourne and Led Zeppelin.
And there's really nothing to it.
Okay.
Of course not. You can hear what the fuck you want to hear.
Astral projection.
Well, if you could do that, yeah, you pretty much are up on a list. I mean, come on.
Necromancy.
That's summoning demons.
Rebirthing.
So fuck yeah, I guess so.
Kabbalah. LOTR.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Oh,
that stands for
okay.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
So if I read, which
Wow.
I did years and years ago when I was a hardcore stoner, back when I was a cop, and I used to read all the Lord of the Ring books. And does that mean I'm demonically possessed? Where is all this stuff coming from, man? All the lotto tickets and my demons, they didn't have the guts or the courtesy to come out and go, listen, for a little extra, we can make you win this.
Fire walking.
Bullshit.
Levitation. Alternative comics with an X for comics.
Yeah, that's those like, what do you call it? Hente and all that. You know,
yeah.
the pedophile shit and all that.
Vampirism. Trilateralism. Marijuana and pot parties.
Oh yeah,
my
definitely.
goodness.
I've seen quite a few demons at those.
LSD and shrooms.
Well, yeah, that takes you to another dimension.
Video games.
Oh fuck, me and Call of Duty are going to hell.
Harry Potter. Dungeons and Dragons.
Jesus.
Halloween. Fornication. Now this
Uh-oh.
is with the fundamentalists that blanketed Comic-Con 2 years ago. This is from their list. We're not saying it. They're saying it.
Does that also count fornication with sheep?
I think any kind.
Any kind?
I don't know. Maybe that's their out. Or should I say in and out?
Maybe not with sheep, but with goats.
Possibly.
Because goat blood, you know.
Oh.
Well, I don't think my God and their God's the same kind. They say if you masturbate, you're going to go to hell.
Yep.
Well, I think my God's like the prodigal son type God. He'd like, come here, puts his arm around my neck. You crazy little guy. Come on, get back in. You know, that made me burn in hell forever because I whacked my wiener or something like that. Or, if, somebody did something. I mean, come on. Like, dude, you got carried away. You're going to hell. You rubbed up against her ass. You're going to hell. I don't think my God and these fundamentals God's the same God. Can't be.
No, I don't. Probably not.
Skull and Bones.
Oh, geez. Throw in another fraternal organization.
Rock music.
Uh-oh.
Heavy metal.
Fucking A.
Burning Man.
Oh, yeah.
Twilight films.
Oh, well, fuck yeah. You would go to hell watching those.
Raves and ecstasy. And goth culture. And then they have this... at the very bottom, they've got Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, and Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 9 to 12.
Now, if we have one listener, if we have 1,000 listeners or 1,000,000 listeners, and they read that, they're going to interpret it the way they want. There could be as many as 7 billion people in the world and 7 billion interpretations, okay? Dumb-ass people. Sheeple. Why did people follow Jim Jones? Why did they follow David Koresh? Because they offered something that they wanted. They wanted to be led. They wanted to be taken care of, and they took someone else's interpretation. Any idiot that reads the Bible, I'm not about King James Version. King James Version was King James Version. That's what he wanted people to read. But if you go back to the original interpretation of the Bible, from the Aramaic, and then a little bit later Latin and some Hebrew, it clearly states in there from the original Aramaic translation that in the Genesis it says, and so God created man in their image. As they were, so did they make men. That means God had a team. Whether he had a CEO and a financial officer and an engineering group, or whether it was many of these entities, and they always say male. God doesn't have to be male or female. It's total bullshit. They interpret what they want to, and they shy away from the actual interpretations. I have yet to see anybody say this is the original Aramaic translation because it doesn't fit what they want.
Well, on that note, it says, oddly, many traditional sins are absent from the list. So I guess gluttony, greed, and hatred are still okay.
Of course they are. Look at the world today. They talk about, let's go fag bashing. Let's go beat all the homosexuals up. That's Old Testament. Christianity is based on New Testament, which is entirely different. They say, oh, yeah, Jesus didn't say it, but it said it in the Old Testament. Well, the Jews are still looking for the Messiah. They say the Messiah hasn't come. That means the Old Testament hasn't been fulfilled. And why do they say if a woman on her period lies with a man, she should be killed? If a man lies with a man, they should be killed? They don't say that about a woman with a woman because they used to like to watch that shit. That was old-time porno. Didn't have TV or anything. But watching dudes do it, they didn't like it. So they said, well, kill him. Okay, David, King David in the Bible, was a homosexual. Read it. Study it. His father wanted to... Well, before he became king, he was prince. Then he became king later. His father wanted to ban him from Israel because he and his male companion were constantly together. And he had his sons, King David, later to become King David's lover, assassinated by archers. And was like, oops, it was a mistake. I'm so sorry, son. Come on, talk to me. Come on, we're going to make you king now. Come on. It's bullshit on top of bullshit. It's a bullshit sandwich. Okay? It's a bullshit sandwich. And what you just read didn't including the stuff that they like to do, pedophilia, hate, everything else that they want to do wasn't on the list. Why? Because it make it look bad. So they put all this other bullshit on their fraternal organizations, groups, reading Lord of the Rings. Give me a fucking break. How many science fiction and fantasy Christian books are there? Plenty. So fuck that. It was quite a list you had there. Kind of frightening.
I just read it.
I understand that. I understand that. But it shows how narrow and little these people's minds are. It's like you're looking through the wrong end of a telescope and you're just seeing two little tiny dots. Open your fucking mind and your heart. You have to be that hateful? Do they have to be that fucking hateful to everybody?
Well, 'cause it takes
you're at Comic-Con. You're going to hell. Really? I just bought this Spider-Man book for $1,000. I would like to at least read it. When do I go? Fuck that.
I go for the
Dumbass
fun.
Absolutely.
Basically, the list and anything fun you can't do.
Oh, well.
No video games, no
dressing in
anything fun.
latex.
Yeah.
I
can't turn into a freaking werewolf. I mean, come on, man.
Well, I'd like to see you
I
turn
can't
Why
be a
live?
vampire,
Why
what?
live?
I can't exsanguinate someone.
Ooh,
Come on. That's terrible.
that made me kind
I
of
can't even summon demons.
Just sucks the
Now
life out of it.
that's the one thing on the list that would be a red flag. If you could summon demons in necromancy or in the applied demonology or whatever, I think you're well beyond that, okay? You shouldn't even be on that list. You're like in something in a whole different realm, okay?
It's a little darker, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking
Smidge.
We're talking ISIS, okay?
Yeah.
But seriously, if any of that stuff causes you to be demon possessed, then I'm pissed because my demons should have been talking about my lotto tickets. I should be a mega millionaire right now. They're getting something for nothing. Fuck that. Sounds like modern day media. Okay then. What we're going to talk about tonight are magicians. And there's a whole new breed of magicians out there. And if you ever heard, you've heard Marty talk about the Amazing Randy before here. And the Amazing Randy was a debunker. He debunked magicians, people claim to be, soothsayers and fortune tellers and seeing the future and tarot readers and all this bullshit stuff. And he debunked all of them. And Penn and Teller do exactly the same thing.
Exactly.
But there's a whole new breed of magicians out there that they're calling demonic magicians or demon magicians. And a couple of them have actually been looked at up, down, left, right, in and out, and they cannot figure out how they do these tricks. And I have watched some of them, and it really does look as if this is out of thin air. And they're saying that demons actually give these people the power over elements and materials and can make things move, fly, levitate. And some of the ones that have actually been accused of this are, of course, David Copperfield.
Uh-huh.
But David Copperfield obviously had tricks that you could see. If you really studied it, you could figure out how he did it. But some of the ones like Chris Angel and David Blaine, I've seen a lot of their stuff, and you can actually see how they do some of it. But then you start getting into stuff like this one is called Harris Klaus, or Clock, Harris Clock. And that kind of takes me into the one called, this guy's name was Miriam Dajo. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay, Miriam Dajo was a magician, a wizard, if you will.
Is he still alive?
No, he's quite dead.
Oh, okay.
And
So I was going
basically,
to say allegedly, if you're going to call it a demonic magician.
well, basically, he, this guy's name was Miriam Dajo, and he was in Nazi Germany. And Hitler took a special interest in this guy, and so did all the Nazi doctors and SS officers and everything. And they have film of him being surrounded by SS soldiers and 4 or 5 scientists on the stage putting swords through this guy, in through his back and out through the front, through his chest and out through the back, across one side, rib cage, out the other side. And they were amazed, and he simply had made a statement that he had certain powers to protect him from death. Well, apparently, at some point in 1943 or early 44, Hitler basically demanded that he tell him how he's doing this, because Hitler wanted to take whatever knowledge he had and make these soldiers who could be shot, stabbed, whatever, and not be killed.
Oh, Lord.
And so he demanded the guy tell him. So the guy told him, okay, I made a deal with the devil, and I have these demons that watch over me, my spiritual powers, that they came from God via the devil, which is kind of unusual since I don't think they both use the same mailing address. But, and so he told the story. Well, the next time they brought him up to do a test, it killed him. And when he died and they did an autopsy, they said that his insides, his guts, had been ripped to shreds. Okay? There's two ways to look at that. Either the demons did it because one of the things that you do when you make a deal you cannot tell, or all the stabbing that had been done to him caught up to him. Lots of holes, lots of shit. I don't know. But he was one of the ones that even, the Nazis never lied. So we got to believe that, right? Okay, thank you. And then we have Mike Supra, who actually admitted on live TV that he did, in fact, have a entity, a demon, a spirit, whatever you want to call it, and his name was Desmond. And he actually won America's Got Talent with Howard Stern and Howie Mandel and these other people. And he actually admitted to him, yeah, it's a demon. Apparently he got permission to break the mold.
And what's the name of this?
His name was Mike Super.
Super, and his entity or demon?
Was Desmond.
Desmond.
Yeah. Well, this is the name he gave it. I mean, Beelzebub, Mephistopheles, whatever.
Okay.
But, it wanted to be called Desmond. No, if you call me Satan, they'll know. Fuck that. Don't. I have to hide.
But okay. Desmond. Wow.
And, of course, there's some other outstanding ones, which I've actually posted some vids on this, like Cyril and Ahmed Al-Bayed, and one who I find absolutely fascinating goes by the name of Smoothini, like Houdini except Smoothini, and it's a young black guy. And
I knew it.
Oh, that's why he came up with Smoothini, I guess. I don't know. But I've watched his magic, and it is phenomenal. And even Penn and Teller said they had no answers. Usually they can, they used to have that magic show on TV, how'd they do it, or blah, blah, blah. They said in some of these guys, especially Smoothini and Ahmed Al-Bayed, I don't speak Arabic, what the fuck. But, and Cyril and a couple of Japanese, they said they cannot explain it. They simply cannot explain it. They can't figure it out. They filmed it from above, below, and all sides, and they cannot figure it out. So this is where they coined the term demon magician. Claim they have special dark powers that they make deals with the devil. And none of them ever explain how they do it. And allegedly, according to these fellows, that's one of the agreements. You can't tell how you do it. Because then the demons get mad. It's supposed to be, whatever. So Penn and Teller have actually not done any of these guys as of late because they said they could not explain how they did it at all. So is it a publicity thing on their part? From Penn and Teller and even the amazing Randy? Or is it truly something they cannot understand? They cannot see? And what about this guy in Nazi Germany? How were they running swords and bayonets through his body in one side and out the other? And he survived. And then you take a look at Chris Angel and Mike Super. They all have a tattoo of an eye in the middle of their hand. And if you look that up in demonology or Satanism, it's the eye of Satan to protect them from death and harm. And he even said that. They've even said that without really... I think the only one who've ever said, yeah, I have a demon or I have a spirit entity living in me is Mike Super. But all the other ones have alluded to it without telling it. So... the floor is now open for discussion. Is this real? Are these people really using forces, dark forces, to do this? Or is it like really, 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 really good sleight of hand, an illusion?
Well.
Okay.
I would definitely recommend that anybody listening to this show right now watch a documentary on Netflix. It's called An Honest Liar. And it's the biography of the amazing Randy. And it's basically about his life's work. And he is not only an incredible magician, but
yes, he is.
As you discussed earlier, that he was also one of the people who would debunk those who would try and rob people blind.
Yep.
The one that comes to mind is, Yuri Geller.
Oh my God!
Who at one time,
he was a bullshit artist, but he was
exactly.
considered to be the greatest master wizard ever doing his shit.
Exactly, and one of the things that you'll get from the documentary is the following, and he would also do this for these fundamentalist religious people that would have the little tents that would travel from town to town and
Heal.
Revivals.
yeah, gouge people from their wallet,
Yeah.
Claim to heal them and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And he would expose them as well. And amazingly, for every person that he was able to debunk, and every time that he would bring truth to the table and say, well, this is what they're doing, this is how they're doing it, he was greeted with hatred. In fact, the more he would tell everybody how they did it, the more they despised the amazing Randy.
Of course, truth is never a welcome. It's never a welcome commodity.
No,
Ever.
because they will cling to whatever mythos they've found to their liking, because it's so much more convenient in their worldview and their politics and their being that, wow, that couldn't possibly be true.
Well, no.
Oh,
It's like
yeah,
the Catholic Church used to sell indulgences. If you paid God a certain amount of money, you could do these sins and be forgiven. The same with Oral Roberts. If you bought the golden key, and at the time it was, I think, $1,000, then with that golden key, you keep it with you at all times. And when you died, you could go to heaven. You bought your way into heaven. And people want to believe so bad.
Oh, yeah.
They want to know there's something there, but they don't want to work for it. It's like
Right.
being a weightlifter. I want to be Mr. Universe, but I don't want to fucking lift weights.
Right.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Take this little shot, and you'll look good. You know?
It'll shrink your willy, but you'll look good.
Yeah.
If you look that good, you don't need a willy.
Well,
Because you'll have a desire to suck other people's dick.
well, there's that.
How do we get from
Yeah, I know.
to
Well, people want to
So-
believe. They want to follow.
Yeah.
They'll do anything to believe.
Right. I mean, the whole existence of the sin eater, which is
Yes.
something that actually did exist,
In the Vatican.
to where you pay someone to remove your sin.
Yes.
And wow, that should say it all. But considering that also magicians belong to, are they a cabal? Yes, they are.
Well, yeah, they have guilds and stuff.
Well,
the
they
old
have
days.
to, because they deal in secrets.
Yeah.
And, think about it. Even if you're just an amateur magician and you're doing these tricks, right? And you're not really making a shit ton of money doing magic. I mean, you can go anywhere and see these magicians in town, and they're not getting
Renaissance
rich.
fair.
Exactly. Only the ones that are the big names, like David Copperfield, Chris Angel, those are the only ones that are making buku bucks. And if you think about it, the assistants that are with them, they have to sign NDAs.
non-disclosure?
Right, non-disclosure agreements, or else they can be sued. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense, because how much are you paying for these tricks? Just as an amateur, I have probably over $1,000 easy in books, different tricks, over $1,000 to learn a particular skill set. And when someone says, well, how do you do that? Well, it's magic. Because, you've got over $1,000 invested. Some of these people have tens of thousands of dollars invested in their skill set to be able to do these tricks. Chris Angel, what's the...
David Blaine.
David Blaine especially.
Yeah.
But David Blaine, he's one of the few that he's not only a magician, but he's also a geek.
Yeah. Yeah. He's pretty kind of cool.
Well, and I don't mean like a computer geek. I mean the type of person to where he's going to actually try and freeze himself. He's actually
Yes.
going to stand up on this platform for hours upon hours, or he's actually going to stick a needle in his arm just to freak you the hell out.
Yeah.
Because you're expecting, well, it's David Blaine. He's going to do this trick, and then he's going to bring out this needle trick, which everybody has invested, I'll give away one trick, okay? You use this rubber cement, and there's this needle, and it's a special needle. I happen to have it. I spent something like $25 on this damn trick.
Okay.
So you get rubber cement, you pinch your skin together, okay, around the needle. The needle has this reservoir built in where you can put fake blood. And the little bulb, it looks like a hat pin. Mm-hmm. But you squeeze the little bulb and the fake blood comes out. So it looks like you really stuck this needle in your arm, right? So you have David Blaine at your house, and you know magic. You paid $20 for this freaking needle thing. Of course, David Blaine shows up at your house with this needle. You look at the needle, it's not the fake needle, it's a real needle. And David Blaine actually sticks the freaking needle in his arm because, well, he's beyond a magician. He'll do things. He'll mix and match. He'll actually stick it through his arm and freak you the hell out because you think it's a trick and you just watched him stick a freaking needle in his arm.
Yeah, he does that on one of the tapes I put out.
Yeah.
Where he does it through his hand with an ice pick.
To where people are going, well, how does he do it? How did he do that trick? Well, he stuck the freaking needle in his arm. That's how he did the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
does the needle.
He's that intense. He will do it just so that you'll wonder how the hell he did it.
Well, see, the one I saw on one of the vids I put out, he actually does it, like you said. He sticks it through his arm, then he sticks a ice pick through his hand, and the guy who's with him goes, "That's not a trick. That's fucking BDSM. You're a freak. Why would you do that to yourself?" And he goes, "Yeah, it looks like it hurt, doesn't it?" He goes, "Yes, it did." He goes, "Well, I didn't feel it. It just went right through my arm." And he goes, "That's not a trick, man. That's self-torture. There's nothing magic about that."
Exactly, but you know what?
Yeah, mutilation. That was a neat trick. He cut his dick off. Okay.
But then you see, then it goes, well, it was a trick. No, it wasn't. Well, it was a trick.
Yeah.
And as soon as you have this argument going back and forth, all it does is just reinforce and feed into the quote-unquote magic. It's like, oh no, he's powerful. He's got a demon inside of him. No, he stuck a freaking needle in his arm. There's no demon involved.
Like Rihanna did a couple of songs. One was called S&M. And I like Rihanna a lot. Yeah, she's beautiful. And she's a good singer. But Jesus, one, she has herself tied up and clips put on her nipples. I'm like, why would you do that, Rihanna? I liked you a lot, but I think you got a problem. Have you used to consider counseling? Oh, you're going to stick a needle through your tit now? Yes, you definitely need counseling because that's not magic. That's actually what you're saying, sadomasochism.
Well, actually, it is kind of magic.
Oh, is it? Those who watch, maybe?
It is magic because
I didn't get a boner until I saw that.
Because what is magic? Okay?
Magic is an illusion of the mind. It makes you believe something.
Exactly. You are trying to convince somebody that you are able to do something, okay, that others can't easily do. Look, I made this card disappear into thin air. No, you didn't. Hey, look, nothing up my sleeve. Where is it? It's up his frickin' sleeve.
Yeah.
It's entertainment. It is, you are playing the imaginary game. You are pretending something is happening and it's not really. Whether it's BDSM, if that's what you're into, is that happening? Well, yes and no. Parts of it are happening, but not to the extent that the mere mortal viewer thinks, because there are people participating. You think something is going on that really isn't going on. Oh, look at me, I'm so intense. I've got nipple clamps. I'm really intense. I am hardcore. No, you're not. You're not. It's pretend. It's, it's, you're feeding into this fantasy. So, I don't know. Penn and Teller not telling someone how they did a trick? Really? They're magicians.
Right.
They make good money to go on stage. And I have seen them on stage, by the way, in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. One of the best shows that I've seen. They're
awesome.
They're amazing. Their bullet catch is off the hook.
Yeah.
And, do I know how the bullet catch is done? Yes, I do. But did I enjoy watching them perform it? Yes, I did. Because it's not the trick. It's
the presentation.
technique.
Yeah,
exactly.
The technique.
You are watching. I mean, you go and you watch a movie. You watch an actor die in the movie. Is someone really going, well, he didn't die? No. Everybody knows he didn't die. You're watching his performance. It's this unreality, this fantasy. It's the exact same thing. You go to a movie, you suspend belief for a moment, and then you go, yeah, I know he didn't die. But that was a really good death scene, man.
Yeah.
That was really good. It made me cry. It brought a tear, it's the same thing. We're watching fantasy.
Okay, but I challenge you to do this. On your Facebook page, I put several of these videos about these magicians.
Right.
And then one of them is the 10 best on like America's Got Talent or American Idol or whatever the hell it's called. And the X Factor, not the X Factor, that went out. The British one, British X, you know what I'm talking about?
Right. Britain's Got Talent.
Britain's Got Talent, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And they have some on the American Idol that I want you to look at, and when we talk again, maybe Sunday when we get together or something, you tell me how he did it, because I can't figure it out, and neither can anybody else. Okay?
There's
It's
always
Smoothini.
a trick.
Well, I'm sure there is, but
and
I'd
I
like
want
to
you
know
to
how
think
he
of
did
something.
it.
Okay, the whole spoon bending thing.
Yeah, that was because they put a material that once it heated up to the fingers, it became very weak.
Nope.
No?
No.
That's what I always thought it was.
They fooled you.
Okay.
They fooled you.
Well, I mean, it's like, didn't they take them apart and resolder it with like a really soft metal, and then it just was a fake trick bullshit?
No. And you know what? That's one of the things that I love about this documentary about the amazing Randy.
Tell me. I want to know now. I want to know. How do you do it?
Okay, so in
Marty.
other words, someone who has paid good money for this trick, and you want me to give you this trick for free and advertise to all these people on and ruin this trick that so many people have paid for, including Uri Geller, who made, how much money did he make off bending spoons, bending keys, to where he gave a key to Barbara Walters, and her nipples got hard because she had a bent key from Uri Geller. And it's like, oh, come on, really? Really? It's a bent freaking key.
Okay, if you tell me how it's done, I promise you I won't set fire to your motorcycle.
Well, tell you what. After the show, I will show you how it's done.
Okay.
And you will go, oh, shit. I can't believe I fell for that. It really is that easy? Yes, it's that easy.
Okay.
And you'll be disgusted and you'll go, oh, man, I can't
don't make
believe
me
I
fell
bad for that.
Jesus. I'll come across here and bite
But that's
you in
what
the
I
nuts.
liked about the documentary, the Honest Liar documentary about the amazing Randy. He will repeat Uri Geller's trick, okay, but he never tells you how he did it. Because why? He's a magician. Magicians are bound to not tell you the
Except for
trick.
Penn and Teller. They will tell you.
Yeah, but see, Penn and Teller. This is what I love about Penn and Teller.
They
and
got
it's
thrown out of the gill.
No, that's not true.
Okay, I thought it was.
It's not true. Penn
Thank
and
you.
Teller are still in the good graces
Well,
because
thank you for making me look like a dick.
I'll tell you one trick, okay? And
Okay.
there is this thing called a fake thumb, and it lets you do these amazing tricks. Okay, it's a fake thumb. You'd think, you go to the magic store and you go, this fake thumb, it's $2. It's a fake frickin' thumb. How is this even cool? That's not even cool. Until you realize what you can do with this phony baloney $2 fake thumb. And that's what I love about Penn and Teller. Penn and Teller, they show you the fake thumb, just like you can see the fake thumb in the magic store. And they say, see, this is how they do this trick. And then they use the fake thumb against you. They show you how to do the trick, and then they use it in the next trick. And you're like, wow, how the fuck did they do that? They just used the fake thumb on you.
Yeah.
Are you really that dumb? Oh, my God. And you're like, And that's what's so great about Penn and Teller. Yeah, they'll show you how they do it, but then they use the same thing that they just showed you how to do against you. And you're like, wow, they are good.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
all the magicians love him because they can't believe they just used the fake thumb on him when he just showed them how to do it. And they're like, oh, they're awesome. They are freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And then, because they realize, hey, my $2 thumb, it's going to come in handy. I'm going to use that trick again.
Yeah.
That's a great spin on it. It's awesome. It's amazing. And when I show you, you're going to say, oh, that's how they do it. Yeah. But it's the mystery.
Yeah.
Magic is just like anything else. It's kind of like, it's people. We all have these people that, he's kind of boring. He's a boring guy. He comes over and he just, well, I don't know, Dr. Mike. Yeah, it's kind of, I've been having a bad day and, work sucks. And you just want to get the hell away from that guy. You're like, oh,
That energy.
God, I can't. Yeah, he just sucks the air out of the room. And then you have this other guy. Yeah, well, I just got back from Afghanistan. And before Afghanistan, I was in Libya. And before Libya, I was in places I can't even tell you about. And then you like, who is this guy? Where was he? What has he seen? What has he done? Wow, that's really exciting. But he hasn't told you anything.
Yeah.
True.
And that's just it. It adds this air of mystery, and mystery is compelling. If you're an open book to someone, there is no interest in you whatsoever. And like, he's dull, he's boring. If there's any kind of mystery at all, hey, I heard that guy murdered his first wife. It's like, oh my God, is that true? Well, I don't know, but that's what I heard. And then everybody's like, whoa, I heard that this guy, is that true? I don't know. Let's go sit and talk with him. Well, it is kind of interesting. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, if you're so constantly directing that towards me, they have never found her body. Okay, so you can't do that, man.
So mystery is good. When people ask you, well, how did you do it? They really don't want to know how you did it. As soon as you tell them how you did it, they're going to hate you for it. Ask the amazing Randy. He showed these people how these preachers did these things, and they hated him. He showed them, no, Uri Geller's fooling you. This is how he bent the key. Watch. I'll do the same trick, and he bends the key and gives it to Barbara Walters, and now she's all freaking sad because her Uri Geller bent key is just a bent key.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to make another one because it wouldn't open my house door anymore. I thought it was cool, and now I gotta pay some dude to make another freaking key.
Well,
It's
magic.
just a key.
Oh yeah, but magic goes into so many realms.
Yes.
I was reading a day today. So Amy Ma on Facebook, she has so many groups about things and vampires and all this stuff. And one of the things they were talking about is in a lot of vampire clubs, they have mirrors. Well, vampires don't cast reflections, do they?
Nope.
According to history of vampires, right?
Right.
So in these clubs, they make these mirrors, and they put them all around the room, like any local gay bar or any bar that has a lot of mirrors. But you got all this stuff going on, and these mirrors don't reflect. There's kind of a light thing inside of them where it's like the same as the room, but it doesn't reflect anything. So these people go to these vampire clubs, and some are vampire goth clubs. Which I think they're cool people, at least they're not trying to be pretentious and bullshit. But while they're there, they can play that role, like Vampire the Masquerade or whatever, and they can walk around without a reflection. Until they go to the bathroom. Well, I got to comb my hair, I got to get my do back, right? But in the room, they don't have reflection, so they can pretend to be.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. And people were like, oh, how do they do that? And that was one of the things that Amy Ma on Facebook was talking about, is like, it fulfills something.
Yeah, it's intoxicating as well.
Yes. Because you can actually,
chemicals in your brain. It turns you on. You're like,
I'm a vampire here, So, yeah, magic goes into virtually every realm that we want a recreation or a desire to be fulfilled.
Right.
And I find it amazing, personally.
Have you all ever seen the Cabanero? Effect?
Michael Cabanero on
Yeah.
what channel?
I don't.
We're looking at that.
know.
It's called the Cabanero effect.
Tell us
And-
about it.
Michael.
Yeah, his
Michael
name is
Cabanero.
Michael
He's a
Cabanero.
young guy.
And he does some amazing tricks. Like he takes a pizza box and opens it, and as he opens it, a bowling ball appears. You know? And he does things like make cars disappear from garage while security people or police people are watching it or protecting it. He'll make like he'll pretend to be a cashier in a supermarket, and they buy eggs, and they're coming through, and he goes, "Oh, wait a minute, I feel something." Open it up, and one of the eggs are hatching, and the baby chicken comes out, and people are freaking out.
They are.
People are freaking out, like, "Oh my God, how did that?" He goes, "Oh, it happens all the time. We have a guy comes and gets them and takes them back to the egg place, and then they lay their own eggs and they get bigger. And in the meantime, they get to run around free, you know, and eat stuff till they grow up, and then they do eggs. It's called the circle of life, you know, and it's amazing. But it's got to be some serious sleight of hand stuff.
He's
Yeah.
really, really good.
All magic is sleight of hand. It all is. And it's all in presentation. And any of the tricks that are out there, seriously, any of the tricks, if you search for it on the internet, if you really, really, really want to know how it's done, there's someone who will tell you. But I'm not going to be one of those people. But it's all sleight of hand. It's all pretend.
Okay, so let's take a look here. Back in the old days, like Victorian England, and prior to that, medieval times, and into the Renaissance, the Vatican had priests that would go through their priest training, and then they would tell them that their job is to become a wizard, to practice the arcane arts, the arcane magics, and to report to the church how they're done. And so they even came up with the levels of magic. The first one was called topography, which was called the manipulation of objects. Like I could take this bottle cap, and by manipulating it, I can manipulate a much larger object, like a platform or something, to move by what I'm doing. The second level was, I believe it was called sorcery, and the wording to it was thrice spoken, once fulfilled. And then came wizardry, and then a couple other things, or one more thing, and then the final one was necromancy, the raising of demons, or the calling of the spirits from hell that would come up. Now, if you were in a room, which I was at one time, and I'm not talking about a state hospital or something, I'm talking about in a room with a man who claimed to be a sorcerer, a wizard, and could practice necromancy. And I saw with my own two eyes, he raised something.
Right.
And it came up, and some people were injured, and just around the pentagram where he had drawn, it was blackened, but nothing else. When I saw this giant flame was hurt at all. The fire department came, police department came, and all this stuff. I witnessed this. I saw this. Scared the piss out of me. Okay, I was his friend, so he said I wouldn't get hurt. He put the salt down, the whole 9 yards, but some of these other people were there, which I did not know at the time. He wanted to hurt. And when this entity thing came up, they were severely hurt and had to be taken out by ambulances. And they didn't punish him. You know, they gave him some kind of a ticket for pyrotechnic, but they couldn't explain what it was. They didn't know what it was. Gunpowder, gasoline, none of the things fit. So I witnessed something myself. So how do you explain that?
There is magic, and there is the unexplained.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes there is a convergence of the two.
So you believe there are dark forces?
Absolutely, because I've been in houses where there is something there. There is definitely something there. But now, this is not to be confused with someone who can readily control it and have it at their command. Because,
like a necromancer.
Right, that's sort of like, I don't know.
Dante's Inferno, Mephistopheles.
Think about it this way. Yeah, there are people that can handle tigers, but usually those people that handle tigers
eventually get eaten.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
In other words, you think you might control them, but you really don't. all of a sudden you don't realize that you don't control them until, you're missing a big chunk of skin out of your neck.
Yes.
Asked, what is that, Roy and...
Oh,
Siegfried and Roy.
Siegfried and Roy.
Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah.
The
Just
tiger
saying.
they had never done anything for years and years and years. And one day it said, screw this, I'm going to bite the gay guy. And he did. Took a chunk out of him. Didn't he die?
No.
No.
But he...
They retired their act, though.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, yeah. And plus, once the tiger eats human, well, there you go.
Yeah. It's
The tiger's going to want it.
It's like eating chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken
So,
good.
Are there entities? There
are dark
these
ones.
energies out there that exist? Yes, absolutely. But is there a person in control of them? I don't know. You just because you're feeding it doesn't mean that you're in control of it.
Well, it's like the crossroads in Mississippi where so many blues singers, all the way from the 1920s, all the way up to the 1970s, and even today. And one person who actually said it, and you can watch this on YouTube, is I think he's one of the worst singers ever hit, was Neil Young. Okay? He sucks so bad.
Yeah.
But Neil Young became extremely famous. Very famous. Very much in demand. Rich. What?
Are you sure you're not talking about Dylan?
What? Which Dylan?
The one you can hardly understand.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I may have been a dickish act on my part. What's his name? Dylan.
Bob Dylan?
Yeah.
Bob Dylan. Like, Jesus, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right.
Well, I think Neil Young is horrible, too.
Well, Neil Young does suck out loud in public with slurping
in
sounds.
fact, that was
But-
the worst thing to ever
Yeah.
come about with Crosby, Stills, and Nash. They were so much better without Young. It's like as soon as Young was involved, it's like, oh my God, what is that?
Yeah.
Oh, turn that down.
But it was Bob Dylan. You're right. You're correct.
Can't even
They both
understand
suck.
it, yeah.
They both suck. Neil Young and Bob Dylan.
Made love just like a woman.
Oh,
Hey,
dude.
but you know what? He's a good poet. I'll
Is
give
he a
him
good
that.
poet? He's
He's a
probably
good
good at
poet.
chewing
Songwriter.
foreskins,
Yeah.
too.
Songwriting.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
If you can look up the interview on YouTube and probably other parts in that, he claimed, I mean, you got to admit, he sucks so bad. But he became so famous and so rich that he said he made a deal with the devil. And he had to keep doing it because David Letterman and one other person was interviewing him. This was not on the Letterman show. This was actually in an interview set up somewhere else. And they said, well, why do you keep doing it? You should retire, like some of these other guys have retired and live. He goes, I made a deal with Satan. And he gives some other names, the hierarchy of demons, Mephistopheles, Beelzebub, Baal, and a
Right.
few other things. And
Right.
he said that's what he had
Columbia,
to do.
Arista, Sony. You mean those evil entities that sue their own consumers and actually get away with it?
Yeah, I think there are dark powers like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
you mean those people that have a law enforcement agency of the United States enforce their evil?
Yes.
Yeah,
And that dark power comes from somewhere.
They made a deal, all right,
But it's like-
they're evil.
It's like all these guys who went to the crossroads, and I actually have the address that was given, and it's still a major remote crossroads today.
Mm-hmm.
And people still go there to make deals with the devil. All these blues guys and other singers said they went there, and they waited at midnight like supposed with their instruments that they were going to play, and made deals with the devil. And every one of them, with the exception of Bob Dylan, I don't know what's going on with him or his life, died or was arrested. I mean, they fell
When they were
short.
27.
Yeah, when they failed to, in other words, the deal didn't go the way they wanted it to, but for a short while they were on top of the world. I
Right.
believe there are dark entities. I believe there are dark spirits. I don't believe in the traditional hell, and I don't believe in the traditional heaven, because God is beyond that, as so is the evil entities beyond that. What do they say? They always picture the devil as being red with horns and a tail. Where in the Bible, again, from the original Aramaic, which I believe that has some foundation, not the King James Version, the rest of this crap. That's based on somebody else's ideas. But the original translation says Satan, Lucifer, was the most beautiful, the most attractive of all the angels, of all the heavenly bodies that were cast down. So
Right.
why would he come to you as some hideous thing when you look at him and go, oh, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. I don't want to make a deal with you. I'm out of here. You're gross. Instead, he was supposed to be the most beautiful.
Right.
Okay? So there's a lot of twists and turns in belief systems. And, I guess if you want something to be bad, you'll make it ugly.
Right.
But
in fact, it's even in the book of Job where God is, having a discussion with Satan.
Yes, he is.
Saying, well, of course he sings your praises.
Yeah.
Sings your praises because you're nice to him. I bet if you were to do something really horrible to him, he wouldn't sing your praises.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he's even having that discussion. So obviously he's up there in the hierarchy to where it's not the the ultimate battle between good versus evil. It's not like that.
As we've discussed once before, as you've said, if one defeated the other, everything would cease to exist.
Exactly.
Because in the Buddhist belief, there is no good, there is no bad, there is no right, wrong. There's only what is and what isn't.
Who
and
believes that?
it's the Buddhist ideology.
Oh, Buddhist.
And
I thought you said booze.
well, booze too. I'm fucking no good about. Fuck that shit. Okay.
There's either booze or there's no booze.
And there's legal marijuana. So fuck it. But you take all these things in consideration, and yeah, I believe. And one of the other things that bugs the hell out of me is the translation again of Revelation. Is that in the original Aramaic, and I have to say this too, all these people that allegedly wrote the Testaments, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, they were written almost 100 years after they died. They never wrote them. Somebody else did. Okay? Come on. But in the original Aramaic of the writing, it describes angels as being creatures of light. Not male, not female, not in a human form, but creatures of light that floated. Where we get the idea of angels today with the wings and everything is from the Romans. The Romans used to put these cute little fairy-looking things with wings, beautiful women and all that, on their gravestones and on monuments. And the Christians that came through there at the time said, oh, that's really cool. That must be like an angel type thing. But the angels were never male or female. They were visions of light. They were creatures of light that floated as balls of light. Okay, so come on. Yes, there are good things, and yes, there are bad things. Yes, there are really holy things, and yes, there are evil things. And those entities are real, and they're there. But to tap into that, like you said, you think you're feeding the tiger, and he's under your control until the tiger decides, enough, I'll bite you.
Exactly.
So you have to kind of go back and say, how many of these people that are doing this stuff, magic, okay?
Right.
How many of them actually made a deal with this entity or whatever?
That's true.
And how did they do it? Were they like sitting there and all of a sudden they look next to him, there's this like light creature sitting there going, hey dude, I got a deal for you, man. Check this out. Do this, do this, do this, and I'll do that. Again, I can only think about my lotto tickets. But at the same time, how much of it is real and how much is not? When you see somebody raise something from a pentagram and you damn near soil yourself and you're like, holy crap, that's one thing. But to see a guy making a credit card fly circles around his head, what is that?
Right.
Is it or is it not?
But is it the pentagram that gives it the strength, or is it the person who is thinking that they're putting this emotion into it, they're putting these expectations into it? The power is coming from the individual. It's not the symbol. It's the person that is bringing about that change. It's the person that's bringing about that experience, so to speak. In other words, there are these powers out there, these entities out there, and like I told you before, I think them that they are kin to lions and tigers. It's like, are they good? Are they evil? No, they just are. But they do some lion shit and they do some tiger shit. And while I don't understand it, it sure looks evil to me.
But it's the thing we talked about before.
Pretty freaking evil to me.
It is, but we got to take a look at this. We've talked about this before, and Gwen and I have talked about this before. It's the story of the turtle. Or, I'm sorry, it's a turtle and the scorpion. It's a story. And you know the story, correct?
Yes.
I know both of you do. The scorpion wants to get across a waterway, a lake or a pond or whatever it was. And he tells the turtle, he says, hey, I will ride on your back if you'll let me, and if you'll carry me to the other side. And the turtle goes, no, I don't want to do that. because you're a scorpion and you'll kill me. He goes, no, I would never do that. I make an agreement with you. I cannot do that because if I kill you, then I will drown also. So the turtle goes, that sounds about right. That sounds pretty good. So let's do it. So he gets on the turtle's back. They're halfway across, and the scorpion reaches underneath the soft part of this turtle and stings him. And the turtle goes, oh my God, you stung me. I'm going to die. I don't understand because I will die and you'll die with me. And the scorpion goes, hey, I'm only a scorpion. I do what I do. That's evil. Okay? And yeah, you make deals with something like that, and it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Okay? Seriously.
But is the scorpion inherently evil, or is it just... It's just
being a scorpion.
Exactly.
Right. So if you make a deal with one of these entities, these powers that be, whether you call it a deal with the devil, a deal with evil, or whatever it may be, it's going to come back and bite you.
It's something that has no qualms about doing some bad stuff to you.
Yeah.
Because that's some tiger stuff that it does.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
you've opened the door and invited it in.
Exactly.
Well, once you invite something in, it's like the old vampire thing. I cannot enter the home unless the what is it, the male, the head male, or the man of the house, or whatever, or the king, or the whatever. Throughout the ages, it's changed, of course, unless you invite me in. Well, if you say no and shut the door, he's like, fuck. I have to go somewhere else now. I have to go to a blood bank or something. Okay? But if you go, come on in. Yeah, damn it.
Well, that movie's Let Me In. That was a good movie. The original was very, very good.
Absolutely. And so if you say, come on in, they've got free reign. They might help you out. Like a Renfield, I'll make you a vampire too. After
they'll help you out of your house is what they'll do.
It's like Renfield and Dracula. Oh, absolutely. You do all these things for me, and I'll make you look so good. And at the end of it, I'll make you a vampire too. It's like in Dante's Inferno. When Dante called upon Mephistopheles, what did he say? Do you remember that at all? Dante's Inferno? When he called upon Mephistopheles, he didn't use a pentagram. He didn't use anything. He walked to a lonely place where there was a gallows, and there was nobody on the gallows. It was just there. It's just the place he chose. And he said, Mephistopheles 3 times, and he said, and he appeared as this grotesque, rotten corpse with maggots and worms. And Dante turned his head, and he goes, this does not please me. And Mephistopheles said, but I thought you would want to see me as everyone else thinks that we demons are. And he covers his eyes and said, go away from me and return in a more pleasing fashion as yourself. And in return, he was like this radiant man with robes and all that. And he used nothing. It was his desire to make the deal with the devil. Or in this case, one of the archdemons under this, that we call him. That's what we're used to calling him because it's the Judeo-Christian. But what are these entities? Are they spirits of energy that have come about due to our actions? Or are they spirits that were here long before us? As when God in the original translation said, and so therefore God made man in their image so that man would look like them. Were they good and bad? There's a lot of questions here.
Is man good or bad? It depends. But no one is inherently good or bad. It depends on the individual. And I think that there are entities, there are creatures that exist in our realm that we don't have the technology to understand, we don't have the brain power to understand, that exist in our realm that we will never know and that we'll only experience in these ways.
Well, before we go, I guess the only thing I'd like to add to this in the closing of this, people say that demons are bad and evil is bad, and if you practice this, sociopaths, psychopaths are bad. They are. They deserve to be locked away or killed or whatever needs to be done. But at the same time, let's go to the opposite end of the rainbow. Fanatics, zealots, fundies, they're just as bad. Whether they're Christian or whether they're Muslim, Islamic, Hindu, whatever. They set fire to people. They hang people. They behead people. And Christians have done just as much as ISIS, as the Islamic fundamentalists. And the reason is they're not really Christians. And the Islamic are not really Islamic. They're an evil version of that, using those holy texts to achieve their own goals of hate, control, power, and thinking of the herd so that they're the only ones around. Simple. Very, very simple. So, other than that, I guess we'll be seeing you in a few days. We can crank out something else for the people to enjoy. And when you go, just come on over to YouTube and check out After Dark with Dr. Mike. And tell your friends. Get into the discussion. Make some comments. Make it happen. Talk to us. Tell us what you think, what you feel. And also check out Glue, Glue, with Marty Muniz. I think you know how to spell Marty, but if you don't, it's Marty, and the last name Muniz, Muniz. So After Dark with Dr. Mike and Glue with Marty Muniz on YouTube. And come on over to Facebook and check it out. Get into the discussion. Don't just listen. Tell us what you think. Are we right? Are we wrong? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to fight? Come on, let's get it on. Fuck you. So, I'll either love you or I'll lick you. One of the two.
It.
Yeah, right on. That's the way it goes. So again, I'm Dr. Mike and Marty. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed your discussion tonight. Don't just stare at me.
Thank you.
Say something to the people. And of course, Gwen digging up the weird news from various news agencies throughout the world. This is real news. There are truly some fucked up people in this world. There's some really weird ass shit that happens,
Yep.
So Gwen, thanks for the hot spots and the weird
You're
news.
welcome.
And we'll see you all in a few days again for something else. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.